Imagine you're on a morning walk. The birds are chirping, the trees are swaying, and you take in a deep breath of fresh air. But on this walk, are you thinking about whether your socks smell? Most people aren't, but over half of clothing brands seem to think we are. Anti-odor, antibacterial, and stays fresh are all on the labels of clothing like socks, underwear, and activewear. But what we don't realise is that these features can come from harmful chemicals. One of these chemicals is silver nanoparticles. Silver nanoparticles are tiny particles, so small they can penetrate the skin, the cells of humans, plants, and animals, causing serious harm to human health and the environment. Their use in clothing is especially concerning because we are increasing their usage in these non-essential items without considering the impact this is having. This means we're creating new pathways for pollution. Yet despite these risks, there is still limited regulation of silver nanoparticles in clothing, meaning that clothing brands are left to voluntarily opt in to industry-led initiatives if they want to do anything about hazardous chemicals. But this approach isn't working, and this is where my research comes in. I'm asking, what is industry doing to eliminate hazardous chemicals? And what are the barriers and enablers for brands to take more responsibility for the impacts of these chemicals? To answer these questions, I've been speaking with brands and the NGOs behind industry-led initiatives. One key barrier I've found so far is that brands often don't know what chemicals are in their products, let alone the risks involved, and they rarely disclose this information. In fact, I found 76% of brands selling antibacterial clothing provide no information on chemicals used. This leaves us as consumers unable to make informed purchasing decisions and means we don't know what hazardous substances could be recirculated in recycling systems. But that's just one part of the puzzle. As I explore why barriers like knowledge gaps exist and how to overcome them, my research will provide new insight to industry, including what brands can do themselves, what external support is needed, and what safer alternatives exist. Using these insights, I'll provide practical industry guidelines so that we can prevent harm now before it happens.